Hi, it's Martin here from Into Boxing, here with the unbeaten prospect, Tommy Frank. He's given us a couple of minutes so we could just have a discuss about his career and talk about the upcoming fight with Carl Youssef, which has to be the best named fight of the year.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's amazing. Do you not think?
It's it's a good fight, isn't it? It's a very good fight. It's one that I'm very excited about. Yeah, definitely.
I
I
just
mean, that to say we've just had Lomachenko and Lopez, that's a good statement you just come out with then.
no, I mean the name of the fight, what it's been called.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the fight itself. I was like, wow, that's a big compliment. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, what, straightening car park?
Right there in the car park. It's like it's just got
Yeah,
fighting all over it. But,
yeah. I know what you mean. It's good, isn't it?
yeah, but not taking away anything from the fight. I think it'll be a cracking fight, a local derby. We've had a horrendous year with regards to the boxing. A lot of people are starting to ask to get fans back because it's not the same. Any type of sports without fans is not the same. But boxing, it's just. But I think it's been different with boxing because you've been able to listen to the corners. You've been able to listen to how powerful the shots are. But at least we're going to get some kind of fans back. And being in cars, have you been told how that's going to work? Or
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we've got 4 weeks to go, so I mean, I'm sure more details are going to emerge about that. But basically, they're gonna get 100 cars in. So obviously they're gonna have like VIP, which are the front row cars, and then the rest behind. You know, they're gonna have their own like car spaces, obviously. So everyone's in the cars and in their own space and not together, and it's just going to be like a bit like a movie driving type thing like they have in states and stuff like that. So obviously the ring's going to be covered up, with a canopy. They're going to have big screens all the way around. So obviously people can either watch the fight, from the ring or watch the big screens. And I think they're going to have like these big like igloo pods, which are for the VIPs at ringside. So these pods, like, they're massive. You can fit 10 people in them. Obviously, it'll only have to be 6 people. They're going to have like food and drink in them and stuff, and like they glow up in dark. It's going to look good. I think it's going to look like a real like event. It's going to turn some heads. So. From what Dennis has told me about it and stuff, it's gonna look really good.
now, I for one, I'm looking forward to it. And like you said, I'm looking forward to seeing the setup. Looking forward to seeing the fans in the car. So, are they going to be? How's it going to go? Because are they going to have to wind the windows down, or are they going to have to tune into a radio inside the car, or?
Yeah, so I think like every car when they get there, I think they're gonna have like some kind of speaker that goes in the car so they can listen to the fight and the commentary and stuff like that. They can download an app on the phone, so they can order food and drink to the car. So that's basically how it's going to work with that. Yeah, I think down at Sheffield Arena, I think they're doing like a drive-in Halloween thing, like to see some films and stuff, and I think it's going to be similar to that. Obviously they get a speaker put in the car, and you download an app to order your food and beverage service to your car and things like that. But obviously this is the first time it's ever been done at a boxing show, so I think they're just going to try and do the best that they can, and hopefully everything runs smoothly. And I think it's definitely something that's going to turn some heads, and the other promoters, are gonna try and do, if it runs successful. But even if there's a few hiccups on the night, the main thing is
Is the fight?
people are back watching boxing. People are back live at a boxing show for the first time since all this happened in March. So I just think to be pulling that off, you've got to give Dennis Hobson and Steve Crump you know, some praise for that. You know, they're thinking outside the box, and they're getting their fighters work, and you know, especially for me, you know, this is a massive fight. Obviously, I were boxing for the IBO title against Maximino Flores in March. You know, and 10 days before, you know, we went into lockdown and stuff. But you know, Dennis knows I've always wanted that British title. I've always wanted that British title, and I want to fight the best, and I'm doing both in this one. So I'm a lucky man. You know, I can't complain.
No, definitely. Like you said, it's good for the fans, but it's also the main thing is it's a local fight. It is like the venue and the nights can be amazing, but for you and Kyle, it's just going to be business as usual. It's going to be the same ring. It's going to be the same walk, the same gloves, and like you said, you're going for that British title fight. Do you know much about Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, I boxed Kyle in the amateurs. He beat me in the amateurs. You know, I don't like saying it, but he did. You know, so there's a bit of history there. I mean, to be honest, I don't take too much from that, and I don't think Kyle will be taking too much from that. To be honest, you know, that were a long time ago, and you know, we've both developed, you know, in his professional career since then. And to be honest, you know, on paper, you know, we're both unbeaten. You know, we're both from Sheffield, and I think our styles make for a brilliant fight. So either way, you know, it's gonna be a really good fight. And I just can't wait for the fight to happen now. It's been a long time coming. You know, we've known about this fight for a long time. You know, it's been in the making, and I want that British title really bad. You know, I can't wait to get my hands on it, and not just that, but I know that by beating Kyle, I'll get a lot of praise, and that's what I want. You know, I want to turn some heads with this performance. It's not just getting the title; it's in the way that I'm going to do it. You know, so.
Yeah, no, that's superb, and it's amazing that such an event's going to be held for such a great fight. Look, as you said, you've got I wouldn't say history, but there is a few English fighters that you've had a few exchanges with on Twitter. You got like your Kyle, you got Sonny Edwards, who yet again he's as much as anyone wants to say, he's a very good boxer and he's moving up the ladder. So is there a possible showdown there if you do get the victory against Kyle?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, the domestic, you know, flyweight, super flyweight scene. It's really just bubbling up nicely. You know, there's some really good fights and fighters in there, and you know, obviously me and Sonny have had a bit of stuff on Twitter. Not really from me, you know, from him. You know, the fight were offered to us for the British super flyweight title, which I wanted. I'm not gonna lie, and you know, Dennis and Glyn, you know, they sat me down and said, look, you know, we can fight for the British title, or we can go down the path we're on and meet Sonny when it's a bigger fight and when it's a better fight. And if I'm completely honest with you, I said no, I want to fight him now. But you know, I've learned that, you know, it's, you know, fighters just want to fight, and that's all I want to do, and I want to fight the best. I never ever say, oh, you know, and let's build it up so it's a bigger fight or anything like that. But obviously, you know, your management team, they want to get, you know, they want to build it up so you're getting more money and it's a big event, and you know, big titles on the lines and things like that. So you know, I basically just trusted them. You know, I just trusted Dennis, and hopefully, you know, that fight can still get made. You know, I'm boxing for the British title, which is what I wanted. So I'm very happy, and you know, I'm happy that I'm boxing a good fighter for it. You know, but you know, definitely them fights are the fights I want. The Sonny Edwards fights, you know, the big names. And yeah, I'm absolutely sure that'll happen. Like I said, there's no like animosity on my part. You know, I think I think he gets a bit carried away on Twitter and things like that. But I don't think he's a bad guy. You know, I don't take it personally. At the end of the day, that's what sells tickets. So when we do eventually fight, If that helps sell a bit more tickets and gets more people talking, then so be it.
Yeah, I've met Sonny quite a few times. He is a good guy, and like you said, it's if you go about your business not doing anything, and there's no needle, nobody wants to buy it. It's a bit like with Chisora and Usyk at the moment. There's probably many fans out there, well, people out there that have never heard of Chisora, but because of the things he's doing to niggle at Chisora, at Usyk, everyone's like, I want to watch this fight. I want to watch this fight. So,
Yeah.
like you said, sometimes you have to make a little bit of noise. But let's go back to what you mentioned earlier, your world title fight against Flores, 10 days before the fight. What was it like to be told that that fight wasn't going to happen? I know it's got to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, it were, and obviously at the time I don't think anyone really knew what were happening. It was like being in some sort of film or something like that. And you know, the fight had been a long time coming. You know, I boxed in November last year, and then you know, we knew that the fight were going to get made for February. I think it was either February, and then it got put back to March. So yeah, like I said, you know, I was training throughout Christmas, you know, from Christmas to March. We just got back from Fuerteventura. We did a week out there. That was kind of his last hard week of training, and then when we got back, that's when everything, you know, shut down and things like that. And it were devastating. It really were. You know, I'd worked so hard for it, but you know, I've always been a very positive person. I've tried to look for the positives, and you know, I think that, you know, life is like 5% what happens to you, and like 95% of how you react to what happens to you. So, you know, I think you've got the power to choose how you react to certain situations, even the negative ones. So, you know, I just sat back. You know, I couldn't, you know, everyone were in the same boat. We were on lockdown, so I just thought, you know, what can I do to use this time to better myself, you know, as a fighter, as a person. And you know, I did. Yeah, I'm very very blessed. You know, number one, all my family were safe and well, and everyone's got their own, so that's number one. And you know, I still had access to the gym always throughout lockdown, which I'm very very lucky for. You know, Glyn just let me go in and train on my own. I have my own set of keys, and it just gave me time to just sit back and maybe work on things that I wouldn't necessarily be working too much. Obviously, you're always working on your technique and things, but when you're training for a fight, you know, you're getting round sparring in and hard sessions. But it just really gave me a chance over the last, you know, 6-7 months just to really drill the basics back in and kind of fall back in love with boxing a bit. You know, just shadow boxing in the living room and watching old fights and things like that. And you know, I feel like, you know, I've really used this time to really, you know, just make myself a better fighter all around. To be honest, so under the circumstances, I can't complain. I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, are you one of them people that shadow boxes everywhere? Then everywhere you go, living room, kitchen, is the
Yeah, you got to have a little shadow box, haven't you? You got to. If there's a good fight on, you know, if there's a good fight on what you're watching, you got to let it out, haven't you? You never lose it.
No. I totally agree with what you're saying there, and I'm glad like all the family's well. Luckily enough, the family with myself. But one question I've always wanted to ask the boxer is, now you know that you're in Fuerteventura the week before. Obviously, you know what's going on in the news. You know what's going on all around you. Was there ever did training drop off with you thinking, you know what, this fight's going to get cancelled?
No, not at all, because I was just doing my best to block it out and just try and be positive, because what what happened were is like maybe you know, like late February, early March. Obviously people started talking about this coronavirus, and I mean, I don't watch the news, to be honest, but you know, I'd hear people, you know, mention it, and you didn't even think anything of it. And then as the weeks go on, they're saying, "Oh, it's spreading around world and things," and you're thinking, "What's all this about?" And then, just before we went out to Fuerteventura, things were kind of hotting up a bit, and people were talking about it more seriously. And Dennis actually rang me the day before we went in, and were like, "I'm not sure whether you should be going, Tommy." And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, because if you go over there, I've heard they're going to start locking places down, and the last thing we need is for you to be locked over there and can't get back or whatever." So I was like, "Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. I can't see that happening at home." So we were like, "All right then." So we went out, and then every morning we were getting up and having a coffee and that before we went to the gym and stuff, and we're having BBC News on, and every day was just escalating a little bit, like, "Oh, they cancelling tennis now, and this football match is cancelled." And we were just thinking, "Oh, I hope just praying to God that it weren't going to affect us." So I think we were trying to stay positive, but I think we were all a bit worried.
Yeah.
But you can't slack off on the training. We did everything right, and just tried to stay positive and try to keep on it. And then we're in the airport on the way back, and we were just getting a few things from the shop and that. And the woman on the desk, she was like, "The airport's shutting tomorrow." Nobody knows, but I've just been told the airport's shut tomorrow. So you're one of the last flights out. So we were like, if we'd have come back a day later, we wouldn't have been coming back. We'd have been stuck in Spain. And I think that's when we thought, "Ooh, this is a bit." And then over that weekend, I would training, and then I think on the Monday, that's when Boris made the announcement, and then that were it. So.
Yeah, I think it's just been a nightmare year for everyone, literally. But like you said, you've got your chance. So your family's well. So you've had a little bit of ring rust, which, well, is it 12 months you say at the ring 11, 12
Yeah,
months?
by the time I get in on 20th of November, it'll be just under a year. Just under a
Yeah.
year. So
So
it's the longest. It's the longest I've been out. But I always live a very good life outside the ring. I'm always in the gym, and I think if you live the kind of life where you're always ticking over, you're not drinking and eating too much. You're always in the gym, just keeping your tools sharp and learning. I don't think it's too much of a problem, and especially when you can't help it. To be honest with you, I'm just happy I'm boxing. There's going to be some fighters out there that are not going to box in 2020 whatsoever. So, I'm boxing, and not only that, it's a massive fight. So, like I said, I can't complain. I'm just happy I'm boxing. And for this British title, I'm a massive believer in everything happens for a reason. And I've had, even though I was boxing for the IBO and I was really excited about it, I've always had that Lonsdale belt in my head. So I just think everything happens for a reason, and this is it. It's obviously just meant to be.
No, what 100%. And with Kyle as well, his promoter, Steffi Bull, he's massively known on the circuit as well. So I think he'll be drilling into Kyle's head about what type of atmosphere to expect. But it's not gonna be the same because there's going to be a live crowd there. So that's going to be it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a fantastic night. And like
Yeah,
you said,
yeah.
at the beginning of the show. I didn't want to come across as being rude when I says when you thought I'd said that it's the biggest fight of the year, but then you mentioned Lomachenko versus Lopez. Now, I don't know if this is just me or how did you feel that fight panned out?
I'll be honest with you, I couldn't believe it. I got up for it. I ordered it on that Fight TV or whatever it were, and I could not believe it. I'm a massive fan of Loma. And I'm a massive fan of Lopez, to be honest with you. I think he's well, he's proved that he's an absolute star. But you know, the first like 3 or 4 rounds, I thought he's just measuring him up. You know, and any minute now he's going to step up the pace, but he never really did until about round 8. But even then, it was just a little bit too late, and he didn't do enough. And the only thing I can think of is, you know, well, you know, Lopez is massive for the weight, and I think Loma just reached that bridge too far with the size, and he were in there with just you know, a naturally bigger guy who could bang, and I think he felt his power maybe early, and he didn't seem to want to stay with him in that pocket, and you know, obviously what Lomachenko normally does just didn't really work on that night. But you know, people are saying, you know, Loma weren't himself, but maybe Lopez was just better, the better man. So you've got to take your hat off to him. He's the youngest unified lightweight champion. You know, I think in history. So you know, fair play to the guy, Teofimo Lopez.
No, the way I thought it planned out, I think you hit the nail on the head. Just, I think Lopez hit Loma early, and then Loma must have been thinking, "Is that's a bit of power? That is. Don't think I can stand here and get stuck in the pocket." And the one thing Lomachenko is good at is making angles and creating angles. And every single time he created that angle, I don't know if you've seen it, Lopez, it was, if it was an uppercut, if it was a hook, if it was a body shot, he just had an answer. And I just think Loma was just, I just think Lopez was just too big. Loma dared to be great, and it was just one step too far.
Yeah, that's right. You know, everything he seemed to do, Lomachenko, Lopez just seemed to like just control it, didn't he? He just seemed to neutralize him. So I mean, you've got to take your hat off to him. And I don't know what happened. I've heard that Loma hurt his shoulder after I was reading something today. But how true that is, I don't know. I've heard he's had surgery on it already. But I just think that Lopez were miles, you know, bigger, stronger, sharper, and obviously it can whack as well. So like you said, you know, Loma must have found that early on. So yeah, there's a new lightweight king.
Yeah, and I don't think, in my honest opinion, if Lopez was to offer Loma the rematch, I don't think Lomachenko would take it, because I don't think he could beat. I just think he's too big. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't think what he does, he can't beat him because he's just too big. And I think Lopez is moving up now to Lopez versus Josh Taylor if Taylor gets through Ramirez. So we could be up for another blockbuster fight.
Yeah, really exciting fights. You know, if Lopez does move up, there's some really big fights. Like you said, Josh Taylor, Ramirez. You know, I think, you know, Jack Catterall's in that mix as well. He's been waiting for his shot for a while, hasn't he? So there's some massive fights out there to be made. But yeah, I think maybe Lomachenko has been moving through the weights, looking for challenges, but maybe he was a bridge too far with Lopez. He was just that bit too big, too strong. So maybe Lomachenko has to move back down to 130, or I mean, I think he started at like 126, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have a rethink about where, you know, what weight he wants to, you know, kind of pursue after that.
Here's one for you. Lomachenko versus Inui.
Ooh, that's a good fight. That's a very good fight. But I mean, that monster, you know, I mean, he's a bantamweight, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think Loma would go. Do you mean like if Inui
Yeah,
moved up
if
the weight to
Loma
fight
moved
Loma?
down and Inui moved up,
Yeah, I know what you mean. So that's a potential fight, isn't it?
it's a world
Wow,
title fight as well. But it's
it
that
really is. Yeah, I mean,
that's a
that
crazy.
Inui, like I said, yeah, it is. Like I said, that Inui is definitely a monster, and he can punch. But I'd have to back Loma down at his natural weight. I still think Loma's untouchable with some of the stuff we've seen. I mean, I think a lot of people forget, just from that performance on Saturday night, but what Lomachenko's achieved before that, I think he's made his last 4 or 5 opponents quit, and you're talking world level opponents. So I just think down a weight that suits him, Lomachenko's still the man. But that's not taking anything away from Inoue, because it only takes one in boxing, and he's definitely got that one. He's got that equaliser.
He's got
So
that.
so that'd be an interesting fight, definitely.
He's got that chocolate brownie, as KELL Brook says.
Just one sec, mate. I tell you what, someone's text me, and then it's messed up. It's messed up my sound on this. So you've gone right.
Resume. Yeah. So as you said, it only takes one, as KELL Brook says, that chocolate brownie. So you're a Sheffield lad, so you know what I'm coming on to. KELL Brook versus Crawford. I'm a massive KELL Brook fan. I honestly think that this could be Crawford's hardest fight. I really do. I think if KELL Brook is the KELL Brook that done the first 6-7 rounds against Spence, then Crawford's in. Not going to say Brook's going to win, because I know how good Crawford is, but it's going to be a tough night.
Well, I'm just going to put this out there now. Brook's going to beat Crawford. And that's just my...
for this video.
What's that, sorry?
There's the headline for this video. This will get some views.
Listen, Brook is going to beat Crawford. I'm not just saying it because he's from Sheffield and, whatever, but KELL can fight. KELL is a very, very good fighter. I think people forget just how good a fighter KELL is. And yeah, he is coming to end of his career, and he might not be getting as much attention as when he fought Triple G and when he fought Spence, but I think under the circumstances of them fights, obviously he broke both his eye sockets in the Triple G and then the Spence fight, but there were spells in that Triple G fight. I mean, KELL's not I know he's a big guy, but he's not a middleweight, and Triple G he were miles, too strong for him, but he definitely had spells in that fight. And again in the Spence fight, Spence is a great fighter, but KELL were giving him a lot of trouble.
Brook was I had Brook up by about 3-4 rounds going into round 6. I thought it started unreal. I really, because I took my wife and the lads, and he kept saying to me, I didn't realise KELL Brook was this good, and I was like, he was unreal. And then you could see Spence, you could see he'd done his eye socket, because he just, from round 7 to 10, just weren't the same boxer.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I think the thing is with KELL, I think he's never really lived a life properly outside of the ring, and I've seen him do interviews where he's openly admitted that himself, and I think I've heard him say, like, the over this past year or so, the penny's finally dropped with him, and he's looking after himself and keeping himself closer to the weight. And from what I've seen of him, training, he looks really trim, and he has done for a while. So, I think he's been training at a good weight, and obviously in improving. And if he is living the life outside the gym now, that does go for a lot in boxing. So I mean, if he's putting performances on, with Spence and the wins he's had, and he's not been doing it right, then imagine if he is doing it right. And I give him every chance in the Crawford fight. A lot of people are like writing him off, but you look at who Crawford's fought, and then you look at who KELL's fought, and like I said, KELL's a very, very good fighter. He's very slick, he's very powerful, he's got a good boxing brain. And I think he gives Crawford all kinds of trouble. And yeah, he's up against it, and he's got to prove a lot of people wrong. But listen, this is boxing, and on that night, if he's in a good place mentally and he's happy, and he's done the weight right. And I think that's one of the main questions is, can he do 147? But if he has been living the life, if he's got himself down to the close to the weight early out, then there's no reason why he can't make it strong. I give him every chance in that fight. I really do, and I'm looking forward to watching it as a fan.
Yeah, so that's the week before you fight, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's 14th of November. Yeah, so it's going to be a week before. Yeah.
You fight on the Friday.
Yeah, Friday 20th. I am. Yeah.
Yeah. No, super. Tommy, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. I could speak to you all night. Yeah. It really has, mate. Best of luck against Carl Youssef. I'll be trying to get tickets. Put it that way. But mate, have you got anything you want to say to your fans out there or to your sponsors?
Yeah, I was going to mention my sponsors earlier again. Especially this last 6-7 months. Thank you so much to all my sponsors. I'd reel them off, but if I forget one of them, I'd feel awful. So I'm just going to say, you are. I put them all over my social media and everything like that. So just thank you to all my sponsors. And again, it's crazy times, but I can't complain. I wake up every day with a smile on my face. I train full time, and I'm following my dream, and I'm boxing for British title on 20th of November. So I can't complain. Life's very good.
No, fantastic, Tommy. We'll see you on the 20th of November, and if you do get the W, promise you'll come back on and chat to us again.
When I get the W.
A lot. Yeah, when you get the W.
Exactly. They'll have this Lord Lonsdale belt draped across me when I'm talking to you.
Okay. I look forward to it, buddy.
Nice one. Thanks for your time, Martin.
Take care, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye.